The moon landing conspiracy theory began with a man named Bill Kaysing and his pamphlet about America's $30 billion swindle. Some people who doubt the moon landing have noticed that the American flag seemed to wave and flutter on live TV as Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin stuck it in the ground. The pictures of the landing also appear to show the flag rippling as if there was a breeze. The problem with this is that the moon has no atmosphere and no wind to make the flag move. Many different reasons have been given to show that this is not something strange. NASA said that the flag was kept in a thin tube and it looked rippled because it was unfolded before being put up. Other reasons have to do with the ripples caused by the force of the astronauts touching the metal pole, which can be seen to wobble in the video. Some people who question the moon landing have argued that if NASA really put us on the moon, there should be a hole under the lunar module from its landing. But on any photo or video of the landings, no hole can be seen, as if the module was just set there. The moon is covered in fine dust, and even this doesn't look like it was moved in the pictures. But like the theory of the moving flag, there are many possible reasons for why there is no hole. NASA says that the module didn't need much power to land in the low gravity situation than it would on Earth. The moon itself is hard rock, so a hole wouldn't be likely anyway, just like a plane doesn't make a hole when it lands on a concrete runway. Some people who doubt the moon landing have noticed that the shadows on the moon don't all go the same way. On the moon there is only one bright light, the sun. So you would think that all shadows should be in line with each other. But this is not what happened during the moon landing. Pictures and videos clearly show that shadows go in different ways. Some people who doubt the moon landing say that this means there were more than one light, meaning that the landing pictures were made on a movie set. NASA has tried to say that the moon's surface is not even and that's why the shadows are weird, with small hills and bumps on the moon making the shadows look different. But some people who doubt the moon landing don't believe this. How could hills make such big angles? You can see that the shadow of the lunar module is very different from the shadows of the rocks in front of it at almost a 45-degree angle. To get to the moon, astronauts had to go through a zone of radiation called the Van Allen radiation belt. The belt is kept in place by Earth's magnetism and doesn't move. The trips to the moon by Apollo were the first time that people tried to go through the belt. Some people who doubt the moon landing say that the radiation was so strong that it would have killed the astronauts on the way to the moon, even though the spaceship had aluminum layers on the inside and outside. NASA has answered this by saying that the astronauts didn't spend much time in the belt, so they only got a little bit of radiation. When people saw the pictures of the moon landings, they noticed a strange thing in the reflection of an astronaut's helmet from the Apollo 12 trip. The thing looks like it is hanging from a string or wire and has no reason to be there, making some people think it is a light that is usually used in movie studios. The thing doesn't look very clear, because the picture is not very good, but it is still weird that something is floating in the air, or no air, on the moon. The lunar module in other pictures doesn't have anything coming out of it that looks like the thing, so the thing is still not explained. Those who think the moon landings were filmed in a studio had to explain how NASA faked the low gravity conditions. They claimed that speeding up the moon landing footage by 2.5 times would make the astronauts look like they were moving in Earth's gravity. They also suggested that NASA used hidden cables and wires to help the astronauts jump higher than they could on Earth. A strong reason to doubt the moon landing is the absence of stars in any of the pictures or videos. The moon has no clouds, so stars are always visible and much brighter than on Earth. The hoaxers might have avoided putting stars in their images because they could not get their positions right, and they would be exposed. They could then claim that the stars were too faint to show up on the images, which they actually did. However, some images are very clear, and still no stars are visible. This is strange, because even low-quality pictures taken from Earth can show stars. A rock with the letter C on it is in one of the most well-known pictures from the moon landings. The letter looks very regular, so it probably did not form naturally. Some people think the rock was a fake, and the C was a label used by the people who staged the landing. Maybe someone who worked on the set put the rock in the wrong position, and the camera caught the letter. NASA has not given a clear explanation for the letter. They said it could have been a prank by someone who developed the photo, or it could have been a hair that got stuck somewhere when the photo was made. The astronauts' cameras had many crosshairs on them to help with size and direction. These should appear over everything in the photos. But in some photos, things like the flag or the rover look like they are on top of the crosshairs, not behind them. This could mean that the photos were changed or faked after they were taken. Some people who doubt the moon landing think NASA added the things to a real photo of the moon to trick people, but then it is not clear why they used crosshairs at all. Two photos from Apollo 15 look like they have the same background, but NASA says they were taken far away from each other. One photo even has the lunar module in it. But the module was already on the moon when the photos were taken, so how can it be in one photo and not the other? Some people who don't believe the moon landing think NASA used the same background for different parts of their fake videos. NASA says that because the moon is smaller than Earth, things that are far away can look like they are close. But this does not explain why the two hills in the photos are so far apart.